Good morning and welcome. It is Friday the 11th of July. It's episode 59. I'm Macca. I'm going solo today. John has got very bad laryngitis and we've told him to stay at base camp. He's not feeling too good with it. His voice is nearly gone. So shout out to you, John. Good on you. Look, today we have a very sad case. I'm going to go into it in more detail in a second. It is a murder-suicide case. I will get into that in a second. We're at View Street on location at Chatswood. Before we get into it, we're going to get our really great supporters, Whitehall and Associates, which you hear about all the time. Whitehall and Associates, they're fantastic. Institutional abuse, wills, they do everything. Steve's leading the team there, and they are really great supporters of us. So if you've got any problems, the graphics will come up. Please give Whitehall and Associates a call. Sydney based, they can help you. They will talk to you. If there's any problems they can't deal with, they'll set you in the right direction. And it's no win, no fee. They have been fantastic to us, and we really appreciate everything that Whitehall's done. Right, thank you very much, Whitehall. As I said, today's a murder-suicide. It's a horrible case. We're in View Street, Chatswood. It's a lovely lady, and we're going to change location in a second and get into it. I would like to tell you about her. She was actually a personal friend of mine, and it happened in 2012. So we're going to move on in a second and come back to you, and we're going to go through the facts of this case. A horrible case, but it's also a respect and celebrate a respect to her and her family, and to celebrate her life in a better light. She was a lovely person. We'll see you in a sec. G'day and welcome back. As I said, we're at View Street here at Chatswood, and we are in the immediate vicinity of these townhouses where this atrocity occurred. I've got to give you a bit of a background on what happened. I've done I'm a little shit kicker, and I've done a lot of different jobs in my life. So in 2007, I took a job as a night wardsman at the Mater Hospital at North Sydney, and I was there for a bit over 6 years. So when I started there in 2007, a lot to do with the duties was babies. You sort of check in and check out at early hours. So we were quite busy. We had a lot of babies deliveries during the night. I would do the transfers and work with the midwives a bit. They're a great team, they're great staff. And that was where I first met this lady, Miss Denise Suplina. She was a lovely lady, and she was a midwife and an RN. She worked at the Mater Hospital for 20 years. She also did some work for asylum seekers, refugees, things like that. She was a very, very kind person. So when I met her, as I said, we started doing night duties. Very happy-go-lucky. Wonderful girl. As time went on, everybody knew her, and a good friend of hers was a lady that worked at the hospital as well, named Heather. So she was a single girl. We were purely just friends. And at some stage, Heather set her up with this fella. This fella's name was Michael Waddell. He was 52, Denise was 48, and they went out for quite some time. Denise was a studious lady and saved very well, so she bought a townhouse here, right in this vicinity. And she'd bought that about 15 years. She'd had it about 15 years. So when she met this fella, they started dating. Then he moved in. Then he stopped working. Basically, Denise was supporting this fella the whole time. As time went on, I did 5 years of nights, and then I became a theatre orderly for a while. So as time went on, that happy persona dropped. We all noticed that persona had dropped. So when it did, we were all concerned. She was a very private person in her life. She didn't share a lot of things. And we never actually, not many of us really, came and visited the townhouse. I think this person, David, was a controlling type of guy. He decided, as I said, to stop working. He was living off her, basically. She was getting very angry at this point. So now we go forward to 2012, January 2012. And as I said, her demeanour she was very upset, very quiet, and we were all wondering what was going on. And it was as a result of this guy freeloading off her. She got tough, and she put a few ultimatums and said, look, you've got to start earning and what have you. He's living there for free. She owned the townhouse, and I don't think he liked that. One thing led to another. It was towards the end of January. So from what the police say and what have you, we're looking at about the 30th, 31st of January 2012 when this horrible incident happened. She disappeared. All of a sudden, she didn't show up for a shift at work, which was really unusual because she was a very reliable person. So she vanished. The sisters were involved. Now, she had two sisters, Lydia and Michelle. She also had a brother. I never met him, but it was quite a very close family. Now, Lydia, I'm told, lived quite close by to this street we're at, in View Street. Lydia got concerned and started coming and knocking on the door and saying, "What's going on?" This Waddell fella said to her, "Look, she's raced off all of a sudden to Brisbane and forgot her phone," which was a load of bullshit, of course. No one forgets their phone, and it's not that type of person. If she had gone to Brisbane, how come she hadn't contacted anyone? And nobody had heard anything. Lydia came over several times, and he refused to let her in. So what we think at this stage is, what's happened is, about a day before this atrocity happened, he played squash, which she paid for, as well. You'll have to excuse, I've got bad sinus too. And he had said to a fella a day before this had happened, that she's cut me off, she's not paying for my squash anymore. What happened from there, we really don't know. There was obviously some sort of meltdown explosion, and this horrific crime happened. There was a metal bar involved. I believe the neighbours did not hear what happened. He's actually murdered her, this beautiful soul, massive trauma to the head and neck, and murdered her in the townhouse, which is terrible. In that time, and this is even worse, viewers as well, in that time this bastard has stuffed her in a fridge freezer, which I believe she was in there for a couple of days. Horrific. At this time, her sisters are frantic and trying to find out what's going on, and as I said, he wouldn't gain them access. In that, from the 30th, 31st, in that particular time, he hit her ATM and took out two sums of money, totaling about $1,600 at this stage. The sisters have gone and contacted the police, and at this point he knew that the walls were closing in on him. He knew his time was up. Denise had also bought this guy a motorbike, quite expensive motorbike, which he frequently used. Anyway, he got on his motorbike and he took off, and he headed out to Bathurst after he had hit her ATM several times. This Denise is still missing, and people are still upset and worried. He went to Bathurst and went on the wrong side of the road just outside Bathurst. He was doing high speeds, 150 plus k's an hour, and he went straight into a semi. He suicided. The coward knew that the time was coming up and he was going to prison. He suicided. The impact of this semi-trailer, he was incinerated straight away. Apparently it took several days to identify, a day or two, to identify with DNA who he was, which was her partner at the time. We will go to the next segment and we'll pick it up from there. How's that? Just had to put my jacket on here, team. It's getting a bit fresh. Brisk to bracing. So now I left off where this ringworm has suicided himself because he didn't want to go to jail. So he went head on into the truck just outside Bathurst. And by the way, pretty traumatic for the poor truck driver as well. You know what I mean? Like, probably not as traumatic after he finds out what he did. Anyway, it took a day and a half to do the DNA because he was badly incinerated. And we have some pictures which Marcus will bring up of that accident. They're not too gory. So anyway, after they identified him, they knew that he was the partner of Denise. So they have then gone where we are now at View Street in Chatswood to speak to Denise, to find Denise, because the sisters have already been to the police going, "Where the hell's my sister?" They come to the townhouse, not far from us now, and bang on the door, no response, what have you. The fireys got involved and they end up kicking the front door in to this horrific, gruesome scene of this beautiful lady and a good friend as well. And she had so many friends. She was a lovely, lovely lady, a midwife, a registered nurse, and did so much good for so many people. in the scene there, and this is horrible as well, but we have to go into the facts. This bastard had beat her. They found a pole. It looked like he had beat her severely, as I said earlier, with a pole. The whole place was covered in blood. He had done very little, and he had stuffed her in a fridge freezer where she had been for a couple of days. We think it was the 30th or 31st of January when this occurred. And so she was partially frozen. An absolutely horrible situation. So the police have come to inform her that your partner has died, and that's when it's all gelled together that it's a murder suicide. Just a horrible situation indeed. All the staff, including myself at the Mater Hospital, were just gutted at the time and couldn't believe it. G'day, just another quick reminder, viewers. It's a horrible story today. This is a murder-suicide, and it's close to the heart. Like institutional abuse, we hate, and any violence towards women, we also hate. Domestic violence, control, controlling people, it's bloody terrible. If in doubt, shout out. Talk to someone. Talk to someone. Not at that location. Go and talk to someone. Contact Lifeline. There's people there to help. Talk to the police. There's AVOs. And I know they're very controversial AVOs and they can be broken and what have you. But this is very important, ladies. The amount of abuse towards women has increased 100-fold, hasn't it, Marcus, in the last 10 years? It's just getting worse all the time. So if in doubt, shout out. And remember, there is help. People are there to help. Do it before it's too late. This lovely girl, Denise Suplina, she was murdered by David Waddell, and it's one of many. There's 6 people so far that I've spoken to on the show that have been murdered, and 5 of them, all friends of mine, have been women. 5 have been women. You know, so it's got to stop. It's something that's close to our heart. We're here at View Street at Chatswood. This is number 59, and it's not the nicest topic, but like the girls, like the McGregor girls, these things have to be discussed, and we have to pay tribute and respect to their lives. It's very, very important to us. Thank you for your time today. It's only a short one today, 20-something minutes. We don't want to go into too much because it's very graphic and a horrible story. We don't want to go into that, and I certainly don't want to give this Waddell person any I don't want to keep talking about him at all. Yeah, just going back a few steps, and as I said a minute ago, this is just a horrific situation. The trauma for that truck driver alone would have been terrible. The trauma for many friends at work were terrible as well. She did have many friends there, and what we wish had happened was that she had opened up more. We noticed that change for about a month. And I really don't think she had spoken to many people. But if you open up in these situations, whereas domestic violence, narcissistic control, which is bloody huge these days, perhaps something could have been done. And if Marcus is going to big up the graphics as well, if you've got any worries with anything like this, there is people out there that can help. Talk to your friends, talk to Lifeline, and we've got that number coming up as well. They can do a hell of a lot to help you, to counsel you, because a lot of people, she was a private person, and we wish that this situation never happened. Her sisters were absolutely gutted, and as I said earlier, there was a lovely lady working at the hospital at the time, Heather, who introduced them and set them up. It was not her fault. She copped a lot of crap over this. It wasn't her fault. And I'll also shout out to beautiful Antoinette and Rosie and all the lovely people that supported us all through this horrible time. They piece by piece put it together, what had happened. So she was killed around the 31st. This bastard hung around for a few days, drained some of her bank account, got the bike, which she purchased for him, including she paid for pretty much everything. I said, it's pretty obvious he thought his meal ticket was on the way out, and he went to this crazy lengths and was too gutless to do that time in jail. So we're basically going to summarise this. As I said, I think earlier, this is only a short one today, and a really heavy one though. It's very similar to the McGregor girls, which we did quite. I can't remember which episode, Marcus. It was quite a ways back. Where there was 4 beautiful girls murdered there at North Ryde. It's a very similar thing. A friend and a really lovely soul. After it was all sorted out, the sisters were absolutely gutted. As I said, Lydia and Michelle, and a brother, which I hadn't met. We all went to a funeral, which was held at Chatswood. I did get to meet Lydia, and I think I got to meet Michelle briefly at the funeral. Her nickname was Skippy Denise. We had a couple of Denises on that particular night shift, and of all nationalities, and Skippy Denise was her name. She was Aussie with, I believe, Slavic background. But as I said, she was just a beautiful soul. We went to the funeral, and then we had a few drinks for her and celebrated her life. This is a horrible case. I don't want to keep going into the graphics. There is some more details, but it's not a nice thing. I would like to pay my respects to her family, to Lydia, Michelle, the brother, everyone involved, Rosie, Antoinette, Heather, and it wasn't your fault, Heather. Heather, it wasn't her fault. She did cop a bit of crap over it. It was a horrific thing. Domestic violence is a horrific thing. Control is a horrific thing. Narcissistic control. If you aren't happy in any of these situations, guys, get out or speak to someone, speak to a friend, as we said, lifeline. There's people that can help in these situations. But this had to be discussed today. As I said, it's a short one. We are going to be back very quickly. We've got episode 60, finally, which will be on Wednesday next week. So that's only about 5 days away. That'll be our first female guest too, Kerry Atherton. She's very well known, and the story of her life, she's an author as well. So we'll be back for that. Our third female guest we're looking forward to. But I wanted to, and Marcus and John as well, John knows about this whole situation. It's horrible. He's without a voice at the moment. And pay our respects to Denise Suplina, who was 48, an RN, a midwife, a beautiful lady. Worked at the Mater Hospital and did a lot of free and volunteer and refugee asylum seeker type work as well for free. And we want to pay respects to you. God bless you, and I'm really sorry what happened to you. It's an absolute disgrace. I think she's with us now, Marcus. We're all goosed up on this cold day. But that was episode 59, a short one today, paying our respects to Denise and her family. All the best. See you soon for number 60. Oh, before I go, to a shout out to Shane and Sam from the Baddo Bay that helped me out. Baddo Bay Hotel Central Coast. Thank you very much. Go the Mighty Panthers. Take care. Good on you, Skip. Thank you. We'll see you soon for episode 60. Thank you.